Strike Story, my comrades! My fellow IWWs, my wobblies! I don't see a scab among you. Excellent, very good. So, this is a revival of Strike Story. We started this show 5 years ago, and that's pretty much how Lift started. And I am entirely indebted and grateful for Angela Harris for creating this wonderful Reader's Theater play. I think if I remember correctly that it's 95% historically accurate. There's 5% that we had to just do for like stage directions and stuff. But anyway, we also have another special guest in the audience, Miss Robin Henderson, who is the granddaughter of Matilda Rabinowitz. Yes, thank you for coming. She has books for sale tonight, but tomorrow she's giving a talk at the YWCA at 7 p.m. and she will be doing a book signing there as well. And that is sponsored by the Little Falls Historical Society. Thank you, Jeff Gressler. Thank you, Pat Gressler. Yes, thank you. And yes, wonderful stuff. The other thing, I want to thank the Travelodge specifically for hosting us this evening. It's been very accommodating. They pretty much let us do whatever we want. It's awesome. It's great. Yeah, and I know. Hey, great. And the other thing is, in case of emergencies or fire, run. Yeah, just run. Run to the fire department. They're that way. It's great. And two more things. Please. Yeah, go to the river. Go to the river. Fair enough. If you could silence your electronic devices, that'd be wonderful. We are recording this for historic purposes, and so as little other interference would be great. And this is also a musical. There are songs! So if you know any of the songs, feel free to sing along. We started out with like On Moonlight Bay and then Irish Eyes Are Smiling, but then we have a lot of great Union songs. So if you know any of them, Solidarity Forever, the Marseillaise, Avante Popolo, I feel kind of bad for the chorus because they sing in 3 different languages and I didn't do anything for them. But, so if you know them, please sing along. I encourage you to do that. And I think that's it, I think, yes. Well, thank you all for coming. Enjoy the show! Woo! There's an intermission as well, I forgot. Yes.
We were sailing along on Moonlight Bay. We could hear the voices ringing. They seemed to say, "You have stolen her heart. Now don't go away." As we sang love's old sweet song on Moonlight Bay. When Irish eyes are smiling, sure it's like a morning spring. In the lilt of Irish laughter, you can hear the angels sing. When Irish hearts are happy, all the world seems bright and gay. And when Irish eyes are smiling, sure you see
here to tell a story.
The story of a strike.
The Great Little Falls Textile Strike of 1912.
We saw it all.
It's the story of these people.
J.J. Gilbert, Little Falls mill owner and prominent citizen.
Mrs. Gilbert, his wife, an active clubwoman.
Big Bill Haywood, National IWW leader.
Ben Legere, IWW organizer.
Chief Long, the Little Falls police chief.
The mayor of Little Falls.
Mayor Lund, the socialist from Schenectady.
Mr. McLaughlin, trustee appointed by the bankruptcy court to manage the Phoenix Mills.
Francis Perkins, member of the State Factory Investigating Commission.
Matilda Rabinowitz, chief IWW organizer and fundraiser for the Little Falls strike.
Helen Schloss, the tuberculosis nurse and social worker.
And the person who started it all, the woman striker.
These people tell their stories in their own words.
We are the chorus.
This is what we saw.
In 1912, the 54-hour law was passed, limiting the weekly working hours for women and children in the state of New York. The law went into effect October 1st, 1912. On October 9th, out of 1,100 textile workers employed by the Phoenix Knitting Company at Little Falls, 80 went on strike against a reduction in wages.
When I heard of the strike in Little Falls and the situation that prompted it, I took a train to Little Falls to see how I might help. Other socialists from Schenectady preceded me.
We saw the outside agitators like Mayor Lund coming to town, but we made no attempt to prevent them from holding orderly meetings in halls. The complaints we received were against meetings held in front of the mills, where a large number of excitable foreigners would gather.
I was invited by the committee of strikers to come and help the cause. Chief Long had other ideas. All of those on strike were foreigners, and few could speak or understand English.
We contacted the sheriff for support.
I came to this city to deliver a political address in the interests of a political party.
We had already arrested Robert Bakeman and George Vaughn for disturbing the peace and blocking traffic.
I was anxious to leave the city because of commitments at home. I did not know that I was going to be arrested.
The sheriff dispersed a crowd of 400 at the police station.
I was arrested while trying to speak to the strikers of Phoenix Mills.
I consulted the city attorney before taking Mayor Lund into custody, and I acted upon his advice.
I was arrested by the chief and taken to the lockup. I was standing on a bench in the park, and I said, "I am glad to be with you. I am proud of the fact that in America, people have the right to strike."
Mayor Lund can run his own city, but he can't come up here and run this town. He had 300 or 400 men out there on the square, and he started to tell them that in this country, men have a right to strike at any time. I told him to desist. He would not do it, so I took him in.
I quoted Abraham Lincoln. I supposed that Lincoln was not too radical for this city, and I was warranted in quoting him without being thrown in jail.
I arrested Lunn under the ordinance which provides that no person shall have the right to blockade streets in the city. It provides that such a blockade is a misdemeanor.
I told the chief that I would do anything he wanted me to, and he took me by the collar and pulled me along.
At the noon recess, Dr. Lunn and his companions made another attempt to address the strikers.
I was not seeking trouble. I was trying to avoid it.
They came from Schenectady to avoid trouble, all of them. Charles Rowe, Reverend Robert A. Bakeman, James J. Berry, Harvey A. Simmons, all socialists. Yes, they came to town to avoid trouble.
I refused to give my name because I was denied the right to an immediate trial. I wanted to use the telephone to cancel some engagements I had that night. I wanted to telephone my wife. I was denied the privilege.
Mayor Lund called on me and demanded protection for his right to free speech.
Yes, I appealed to the mayor of Little Falls.
I informed him that if he had applied in the first place for permission to hold a meeting in the streets, a permit would have been granted. I told him that I am willing to grant permits for meetings in what I consider suitable places.
I locked Lunn up on a charge of violation of Section 145 of the City Ordinance. While I am discharging the duties of Chief of Police, I will see to it that no one will violate any law or city ordinance. We have a strike on our hands and foreign elements to deal with.
We have a civic duty.
We have in the past kept the foreigners in subjection, and we mean to continue. We do not desire a repetition of the Lawrence, Massachusetts, and New York Mills strike. If these agitators of strikes, riots, and destroyers of city property come in and agitate matters, we are compelled to meet them halfway. We will not allow anyone to stir up a serious trouble to this city, county, and state.
We did not want trouble.
So long as I am Chief of Police, I will suppress any troublemaking. This city might have local quarrels, but I will at all times object to butters in. I will arrest every agitator who tries to stir up trouble or who tries to make advertising for political purpose.
As we go marching, marching in the beauty of the day, a million darkened kitchens, 1,000 mill-lofts gray, are touched with all the radiance that a sudden sun discloses. For the people hear us singing, bread and roses, bread and roses.
My family has had a long history in Little Falls. In 1850,